Hi, my name is Diane, and thank you so much for joining me here today. I want to say welcome to all of my subscribers and those of you that may have just wandered by and landed on my page. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So today we're going to be making some beef back ribs. These are not short ribs, but these are the beef back ribs. And I got these at the U.S. Shelf Store. The one that we have is like 40 minutes away from where we live. Had to go to the doctor this week, and I stopped and got some more because we had gotten some for Christmas. My husband and my boys loved them, so I figured, hey, I'll get some more. We're going to be cooking them in this roaster today. That just goes on there like that. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and start working on getting them cleaned and remove a little bit of the fat that's on them. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is I got my cutting board down. I'm near the sink. Is we're going to get them open. Look at that. That looks really, really good, y'all. And we're just going to cut them open here. Make sure you cleaned your sink and got your sink nice and clean. They are quite bloody, but that's okay. We're going to soak them and soak a lot of that blood out. Put them down in the sink. Get our next pack opened up. Again, look at that. USA Shelf Store. All right. And so what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be cutting these, and I just want to give them a quick rinsing off. They're nice and heavy. They feel nice and meaty. Like I said, we had these at Christmas time, and they were really, really good. Okay. That's good. And then we're going to get our nice sharp knife. And what I'm actually going to do is, what we want to do is cut in between the bone, okay? And not just right at the bone, but in between the bone, so you'll have a little bit of meat on both sides of that bone. So, okay, so you see the meat? Alrighty. And I just cut off a little bit just so I can kind of get a hold of it and handle it a little bit better. And we're going to do the same thing. And so this is what we're going to end up with. Excuse me. We're going to end up with nice pieces like this. Get rid of some of this fat like this. We're going to get rid of that. Okay. See how it just pulls away? I'm going to do that, then I'll come back, show you how I'm going to season them up, which is pretty simple. Put them in the oven, and then we'll be back. I'm adding my water, that's enough. And then I'm just going to put some vinegar. I have white and brown vinegar, but I'm going to use the white today. So we're going to pour a fair amount of that in there. That's just to help clean it, bring out some of those impurities. And then I have salt, and I'm not going to use my good salt. Just going to put a fair amount of salt in there. We'll give it a good stir. And we're going to let this sit for about a good, as I said, hour and a half. And then we'll come back. We're going to give it a really good rinsing several times. And then we'll get ready to get it in the oven, seasoned up and in the oven. Okay, so while that is soaking, I'm going to go ahead and start on my cabbage, because we're going to be having cabbage with our ribs. This is a big head of cabbage. It's more cabbage than what we really need. I probably could get by with just doing that one half. In fact, I know I could. But I'm going to go ahead and fix it all, and we'll have it night that we have leftovers. Of course, you got to have a leftover night where you just combine everything that you have in your freezer, okay, in your refrigerator. Take it out, heat it up, and it's dinner. And either they eat it or they don't eat it, but you're not cooking that night, okay? Okay, so I got my cabbage all nice and cut up. And I do want to say that I like the outside part of it because it's the green and I think it has the most flavor to it. So I just make sure I wash my cabbage really, really good. So I'm going to get this washed up really good, put it in the pan and get it cooking. Okay, so guys, it's been quite a while. As you can see, we've got quite a bit of bloody water. I'm just going to let that out. We're going to give this a nice rinsing off. Then we're going to get ready to go ahead and start seasoning our ribs. Okay, so I've got my ribs rinsed off and everything. And then we're just going to take and place them into our pan. And we will be seasoning them right over in the pan as well. Okay. So I had so many for Christmas. I think I had a few packs that I actually layered them on top of each other, and they still did really good, y'all. A lot of this extra fat that you see, it will melt away, so don't be concerned about that. Okay, so as you can see, that looks really good. I'm going to tilt it a little bit. That looks good. We'll eat off of this for 2 days, so we'll have it for dinner, and then we'll have it maybe not for leftovers. I'll make something else to go with it, and we'll have it for another dinner. But we're going to go in with salt and pepper. And I want the salt, even though I did put salt on it, I rinsed it off. So we're not going to go heavily with salt. And then we're going to go in with our pepper. We do want a good amount of that pepper on there, though. And I don't know about you, but when I'm eating something like ribs or whatever, I want actually to taste the meat and not have too much seasoning. So we're going to put just a little bit of onion powder. Okay, not much. You're not going to try to disturb. I want that really good just beef taste. And we got some garlic powder, because remember, we're going to be putting barbecue sauce on this. This is just to enhance the flavor, kind of like a all seasoning salt would do. Here's paprika. You can choose the spices that you want. Okay. But like I say, not too much. All right, so now we're going to just give these a good turning, and we'll resituate them again. All right. Get them all stacked back up nice and pretty. And then we're going to start putting them in our oven. You cook them according to your oven's temperature. My oven, I got it set on 350. I'm going to put the lid on it. Give them a little breathing room here. Yep, that looks good. All right, we're going to put the lid on, put it in the oven, cook it till it's completely done. We'll take it out, put barbecue sauce on it. Here's the top. Into the oven it goes. All right, so here's my cabbage. And I'm not going to fry it today. I'm going to cook it in my Dutch oven. I'm going to add a little bit of chicken stock. Doesn't need much because we kind of want this to steam. It's not really the way my husband likes it. And I'm going to be adding a little bit of turmeric, which is going to turn it a little color, give it a lot of heat, okay, because there's heat in it. And then we're going to go in with some pepper and some salt. Okay. And I'm using my good salt. Okay. Yep, that much salt, because cabbage does take a bit to get right. Now we're going to go in with some sugar, maybe a tablespoon of sugar. And we're going to give this a good stir. And I need to add a fat. And so for my fat today, normally you could add bacon grease, or you could do hog jaw, which is really, really good. Hog jaw in cabbage and in green beans is out of this world. But today we're just going to do butter because, like I said, we kind of just want this to this kind of theme today. And hopefully hubby will eat this and be happy. Alright, so I'm going to put my butter in. Here's my butter. 2 tablespoons of butter maybe. Just to add flavor to it. And we've got, let's see if we can get that in there so you can see it. Quite a bit of liquid down in there. So we're just going to let that cook until it gets nice and tender. Like I said today, we're not going to fry it. Okay, we're going to check on our cabbage. That's looking good. And I'm going to add a little bit more spice to it. Just a little Mrs. Dash. The salt-free kind. Just so we can add more flavor, more flavor, more flavor. Alright, we're going to let this continue to cook. I got my green beans going. Got some onion over in there just to give it more flavor. That's got a little bit of avocado oil in it. These are just canned green beans. We're not doing anything that's going to require a whole lot of work in the kitchen today. I'm also going to cut up some potatoes and put in here. So there's going to be my starch. Okay, so I made my cornbread. I only had a little bit of mix. I'm not making this cornbread from scratch. I will show you that in another video with eggs and buttermilk. Oh, it's so great. But I had some, of course you need the Jiffy cornbread mix to make the corn casserole with. And of course I did that in another video. So I had some Jiffy mix left over. And so I wanted cornbread, but then I didn't have any of my muffin tins. I had the small ones, but I didn't have the extra large ones for this. So I just made my own. So we're just going to hopefully get it to sink down in there. There we go. Let me see if I can straighten that one out a little bit before we continue to fill it. And we'll probably be able to get a good 2 or 3. Let's see if we can do the other one. Same way. Yep, just to hold it down. See, always remember, just because you don't have something, that don't mean you can't make it. Just use what you got. Also, I didn't have any sweet milk. You know, I don't use a lot of sweet milk because we don't drink cereal, eat cereal a lot. So I don't always have a lot of sweet milk just hanging around the house. But I did have some canned milk left over from when I made cream potatoes. And so all I did was use the canned milk. I diluted it with a little bit of water. I did add some sugar to it because, you know, canned milk is not sweet. So I did add some sugar to it also. My boys seem to like this. My guys, I should say, including my husband. They seem to like the Jiffy corn mix rather than that good old-fashioned cornbread. But I love the good old-fashioned cornbread with buttermilk. That's what I was raised on. And so I didn't want to take away from that, so I added the sugar. I could have made it without the sugar, but I added the sugar to it. All right, there we go. So now I'm just going to put water in the rest of them, pop them in the oven, and let them bake. Because with things as high as they are, we cannot afford to waste anything. So use everything you got, freeze it, can it, whatever you can do to preserve it, we must do it, okay? Because prices are going up and stuff is getting more and more expensive. So we're going to survive this. We're going to depend on the Lord and we're going to survive this. All right, into the oven this goes. So now we're going to check on our cabbage. Oh, that's looking so good, guys. So good. And I think we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut this off because that is exactly where I want it to be. And we'll just let it continue to set in the pot because it'll stay nice and warm. But yeah, that's great. That's exactly where I want it. That looks really good, guys. All right. And as I was saying, about this economy. Hey, you know what? We've been here before. We've done this before. No big deal. We're just going to cut back on some of the things we've been buying. The Bible tells me that I've never seen the righteous forsaken or his seed begging for bread. So we're going to continue to trust the Lord. Okay, I'm going to take my ribs out. Let's get the top off. Woo. See if I can get a temperature. Whoa, that looks so good. Wow, 183. I'm not mad with that at all. Nice and tender. 190 in some places. They are more than done. Let me see if I can show you what that looks like. I'm going to have to adjust my camera overhead, but I think we can get a good portion look at that. And there's juice down in there. I'm going to save that, let it cool. And then we're just going to put it on some parchment paper. Wow, these look so good, guys. I got my oven on like 425 now. Just put the temperature up on it. And we're going to put our barbecue sauce on here. And that high temperature is going to help that barbecue sauce kind of stick to the ribs. So we're going to keep our eye on it because we don't want it to burn. I'm laying them so that I can get both sides of the rib as far as the meaty sides. Let me see. It's going to be hot, but I'm going to do it. So I'm laying them this way, like this side. This is going to be up. I want to get both sides of that rib. All we're going to do is we're going to do a light brush. Now this is just about 1.5 cups of barbecue sauce. You use the barbecue sauce that you love and like the most, that your family like. You might not like what we like. But it's very important at this point when you put it back in the oven that you do not let it burn or get rubbery, okay? We're just putting it back in here to kind of adhere the barbecue sauce to the meat. There's my oven going off. The temperature is up. Let me show you a close-up before they go in the oven. Wow, that looks good. Okay, guys, I just took things out of the oven. So I did set a timer so I could see how long it was going to take for it to get to where I like them to be at. I set the timer for 5 minutes. So 5 minutes at 425 gets these ribs to the place to where I want them to be at, where they look nice and juicy and the barbecue sauce is standing on top. I'm going to show you up close, and then I'm going to get this plated all up so you can see everything on the plate. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to be with me. Be blessed, and I'll see you real soon. Mwah. Okay, so here we are with our ribs up close. Wow, they look so good. Delicious. Go ahead and try you some.